What up? It's your boy King Dial 225 coming at you with another reactionary video. And today, this high school student dropped nothing but facts on the problems with the Confederate flag. And before we get into the video, let me interject. This is why we need allies outside of our respective communities. Say my black community. We need allies that's white, Mexican, Asian, whatever. Outside of your race, you need allies. Despite this perceived perception that I hate all white people, that is the farthest thing from the truth. I have very strong opinions about white people. Individually, I think a white person individually has the ability to not be racist. But as a white race, as a whole, they're all racist. Because you all participate in this racist system. See, that's why you need white allies. Even when it comes to red pill, I'm a part of the red pill manosphere. It's one thing for a man to constantly say the issue with dating and women and our problems with women, but a woman will take advice more and better from a female, her respective peer. You understand what I'm saying? So a black person can yell about slavery and its effects forever. And white people won't hear you. They'll have a collective side eye roll and be like, oh my God, you weren't enslaved. That was 100 years ago. Get over it. Despite that America had slaves in its history longer than it had free black people, right? Then we can talk about black people can say redlining. We can say the school to prison pipeline. We can talk about the medical, how they discriminated against black people in medicine. The discrepancy in laws. We talk about prison. It can all fall on deaf ears and be deemed as a complaint or excuse. Unless you have allies that's also have educated themselves on these facts. Even educate yourself on why the creation of the union even started. All right, the creation of the union started after the black people were free from slavery, and in order to protect the job market for white men with this influx of skilled laborers that happen to be black because they were slaves that worked for free, so they had all the skills. Now they free to become part of this free market where they can sell their labors. Oh no, we gotta protect certain jobs for white people because there's too many black slaves with all the skills jumping into the job market. So we need to create a union. All that shit happened, but it would fall on most people. It will fall on deaf ears to most people outside my community, because they always look at black people like they complain. This is why we need white allies. Despite it, people who think I don't like white people, I have strong opinions. In my heart, and God knows, it's too much effort to hate anybody. At best, I'm indifferent. Even when it comes to the red pill and when it comes to women. Like, I don't hate you. I'm more indifferent than anything. It's like, it's too much effort to hate you. So, with that being said, let's get into the video and why sometimes your own peers need to educate you on what you believe.
What it's like, how the war started. It's kind of evolved into like a racial thing when really it was not started as a racial thing at all. And I think that like it should absolutely be flown. Like,
okay. I agree, and all people know this. The Civil War wasn't originally about slavery. It's about money. And I'm from Louisiana. I done heard all this bullshit of about the Confederate flag and how it was the war, northern aggression. Fuck that. For black people, it represents slavery. Point blank, period. It's about our history. It's about a time when what? When we were enslaved?
Any other opinions as far as agreeing with him or disagreeing with him? Okay, Mr. Justice.
Check out the shirt.
You do have a right to fly it. I do not think it should be flown on public property, like in front of a state house. You can also fly it at protests. But he mentioned misconceptions. There are no misconceptions about that flag. The flag that we see today is not actually the Confederate flag. The Confederate flag is similar to that of the United States. It has a blue upper right-hand corner with 7 stars in a circle, 2 red stripes, and in the middle a white stripe. The flag we see today is an interpretation of a Confederate battle flag. And the interpretation went up in the 1960s, around the time the Civil Rights Movement started. And to the point where it's not racially motivated. Then how come it's a symbol for so many groups like the KKK and the National Socialist Movement, who, as you all probably know, have white supremacist and neo-Nazi ideologies? Also, I find it ironic that people claim to be patriots when they fly that flag. The Confederates stabbed the Union in the back. They shot first. They murdered 500,000 American soldiers. And they argued that it was because of states' rights. I ask, states' rights to do what? What were we considering getting rid of at the time? Not guns. We weren't trying to raise taxes. It was slavery. We were trying to stop the expansion of slavery to the West. The Southern aristocracy panicked and left the Union. They said, we are not Americans. We are from the South, so we're starting our own country. And then they proceeded to launch numerous terrorist attacks against the Union, shooting at Fort Sumter, murdering 200 people in Lawrence, Kansas.
Okay, now, Chris.
And this bravo ally. This is what I be telling also on the topic of voting. Say, bro, I'll vote for a young man like that when he get older. That's why I got hope for the future. I believe, I always have hope for the future. Look how far even us as black people have come. We were enslaved. Now we dictate to the world. I mean, don't get me wrong, we always have. But we were enslaved. Man, as long as we breathe, we will progress. But you see what I'm saying about your peers? Like him saying it, correcting his fellow peer. I can't use a better word. Your brother, your cousin, somebody you know, somebody in your circle. When they do something fucked up, it is your obligation, it is your duty to correct them on some bullshit that they speaking. Even me as a red pill content manosphere, like, I don't agree with a lot of the energy red pill niggas be on. It do seem like y'all go overboard and hate women. I don't agree with a lot of things us as a community do, but I voice that within my community. I fight to correct that kind of shit and educate that kind of shit. It is your duty as an ally to my community to do the same. Because I guarantee you, I promise you, I am doing the same within my community to all other races, all other ethnicities, all other genders, whatever. No matter how I feel or my opinion on it. With that being said, that's your boy King Down 225 with another reactionary video. So hit that like and subscribe and become part of the kingdom.